2, 1. Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Happy holidays, gamers. Happy New Year's. I'm Slidewhistle.
I am Immunization, also kind of sick? I don't know. Sickization? The opposite of immune?
And I'm Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire and Horde Punching Bag, and it's great to sniff in a bunch of air with my unclogged nostrils.
Well, now you're just bragging.
Well, I'm gonna mail you a letter with my germs in it.
No, that's threat of a biological warfare. You're gonna go in the clink with the anthrax guy.
I'm gonna get Ted sick.
Fun fact, did you know that the anthrax guy did it because he had developed a cure for anthrax and then someone else, did it first? And he was like, let's see how good it is, guy. And then killed a bunch of people.
Sounds like a real incredible movie storyline.
It really is. It is like immense small man syndrome. It's like, ho, ho, ho. Looks like your cure doesn't work. Looks like old Richard will have to step in.
Old Dicky Dick. All right, let's just start with a classic again. What are we doing WoW this week? You guys do anything crazy? I know the holidays happen, so time play has been a little scarce.
Scary. I didn't do as much as I have been because I've been basically playing nonstop since Dragonflight came out. But then, we've been busy because of Christmas and all that. Slide's family actually visited us in town, so we were not able to play a whole lot.
Were you forced to go to the Cloud Gate?
No, we didn't go. It was too well. See that when they came when it was the big winter storm, so everything was super cold, and it was really hard to go anywhere without freezing your ass off. So we just stayed inside and watched a bunch of movies and played Scrabble for a week.
Yeah, I mean, it was something, but when I was able to play WoW, we were able to sneak in raid, which we can talk about our raid progress in a bit. I also have been able to do a decent amount of Mythic Plus on both of my characters. So far, this week is better than last week. I mean, last week was really bad, tyrannical, grievous, bursting, especially as a healer, it was awful. This week is a lot better, so I've been feeling more content in Mythic Plus again.
Yeah, I hated last week's affixes. It just made everything feel so annoying. I think I only ran one key, and it was that one where we went over 50 deaths in the Halls of Valor. I think it was the only one I did. The good old halls.
And then last night we ran a Shadow Moon, and what was it, a 13 or something like that? And we had again 30 deaths, but we timed it. So I was like, what is that about? I guess that's just fortified things.
Yeah, and Shadow Moon is the easiest dungeon to do.
Yeah,
so
it's very short from, I was going to say what I remember, but I was just in there 3 days ago. Yeah, it's very short.
This week's weekly is pretty fucking good, though. Holy shit, run your 4 M0s, folks. You get a piece of heroic loot. I got a 408 trinket out of mine, and I become an elemental wind, and I stand still, and I just make nasty wind damage off of me for 10 seconds.
That sounds like an interesting trinket. It's a 3-minute cooldown, and you cannot move for 10 seconds, but you just pulse AoE damage. So I guess if you know that there's going to be lots of ads and things around you, and you know that it's safe to stay put, that's a lot of damage.
You know who had that trinket was a Portuguese monk in my 4 Mythic Zeros. I ran them all together, and this man came off very curt, but I'm sure it's just because he had very limited English. But we'd port in, and he'd be like, go now. And we were like, what? And he wasn't even the tank. He was just a windwalker. And then, yeah, he was like, pull big, pull quick. And so the guy was like, oh, let me watch this. And this man proceeded to pull almost the entirety of Uldaman. And then we kept dying. And he was like, why are we dying? And I was like, I think we pulled too big and too quick.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And then the guy hit me with an emoticon. So calling upon this man and Pablo, maybe in Latin America, they're like, okay, these stupid gringos will not understand us. So hit them with the 2002 MSN emoticons every so often.
Speaking of Pablo, he posted. Do you see that he posted wishing everyone a Merry Christmas? So he
Oh,
is
no,
he
I
is
didn't see
alive.
that.
He's alive. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, emoticons are universal. It's funny. I had a guy from Ragnaros in one of my things, and he was like, "Summon Hunter, let's go." And I was like, "He's inside. We're good, man. Let's go." He's like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "There, no time for playing around. All business. Let's go."
But speaking of this weekly, did you get anything good from your 4 really quick speedrun Uldamons, Aaron?
Oh, no. I got a necklace from, I looked it up, I believe it comes from Dathia, Untamed, and it's just a stat stick. And then it has a little description that it's like, I bet the Tuskar would think this guy's cool. And then it had a socket, so I put in a little rock in it. So thanks, Dathia.
A little rocket for your little socket.
Nestled safely under the tree.
I know it was not officially thrown to me, but that's really the majority of what I did was just the weekly, and then, upgrading my friendship levels with all the different people. I'm actually sitting on a Valdrakken Accord mission that I'm supposed to do, but I didn't get a chance to do it this morning because I slept in too late.
I actually prefer just a round table talk instead of 1-1-1. We just, because like my reps, I think I'm now 22 with the Tuskar, and I'm like, I don't know, 10 with the Valdrakken Accord. The rest are still super lagging behind for me.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have been a little more on top of things than I have, but like I just actively haven't been really looking at like the renown levels and what you get each level, but I didn't realize that each of them at renown level 14 and 24 give you like an insane amount of knowledge towards certain professions if those are your professions. Like I found a table on Wowhead and I was like, oh, so these are the ones I should have been like especially targeting if I'm like a tailor or an enchanter.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was going so hard on the Tuskar. I mean, other than they're Tuskar, but they do have lots of good leatherworking things for me. But then so do the fucking Maruk Centaur, and everybody who wants shit wants Maruk leatherworking patterns. And I'm like, guys, I have all the Tuskar ones. I don't have any of the Centaurs. Come on.
But I guess while we're talking about like the Maruk, I for this week on my priest, I've turned back on war mode, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but like the Sparks of Life quest is in Onaran Plains this week.
Yes.
And that made for some like pretty wet and wild PvP.
Oh my god, the fight pit where everybody could hit anybody if you're not in a group, horde, or alliance was such a mess. And then there was also an elemental storm over it. So there were people farming the elemental storm, people farming PvP, and the two groups clashed, and it was a fucking bloodbath. We got our asses kicked.
And then if you try and run away, you blink twice and go invisible. Where are you? You're at the duck pit, which is another place where all of a sudden the gloves are off. It was a big nasty fight zone all over in like western Murikai Plains.
Yeah, and as Slide said, like, there's also an additional thing in addition to all of that, like, in Elite, like, within the Elemental Storm spawned too, and the Horde were, like, all gathered around it, and they were, like, monopolizing that Elite that I wanted to kill, but the Alliance would not, like, work with us. The Alliance were all busy farming each other on the other side of the fight pit for some reason. I mean, do you get sparks from killing other Alliance people if it's in the fight pit?
But you do not get against overwhelming odd credits. So we should be working together. But yes, you do get one whole spark for your Spark of Life if you kill a player, no matter their allegiance.
Yeah, so I was on my Evoker, who has become my main. My Pharaoh is now one level below on second place as main alt, if that makes sense. And so I would go into the fight. I would see all these horde, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna deep breath everybody and stun them. I would fly over, stun everybody, and go ha, and be killed immediately upon landing. They were not fucking around. I didn't get a single spark from doing that 8 times. No one ever fucking died because no one's ever fucking hit them.
Yeah, but I also found it funny. The wording of the Sparks of Life in the Onaran Plains, it's something like you can gain sparks by like killing beasts, which I'm like, oh well, there are a ton of beasts in the Onaran Plains, but like, nope. I'm like, is this just their weird way of saying kill horde? Because, like, they could have just said kill horde.
Yeah, it's like do world quests, open those little dirt piles, which I saw my first dirt pile the other day, and I was like, oh, this is what those things are that everyone's been talking about since the beginning of the expansion.
I don't know if they nerfed, like, their occurrence, but, like, at the beginning of the expansion, I was just flying over a zone, and I saw so many, and each of them was so nice. They were giving me, like, a bunch of knowledge for tailoring and enchanting, and now, like, I just don't even see them every time I play, even. Like, I see them maybe, like, once or twice a week, it feels like.
They definitely nerfed them. I didn't even know I had to buy shovels for these things for the longest time, because, I'm not doing shit with these people. But it's cool. I actually really like the Maldrakan people.
Shovels. Okay. As an herbalism man, I can just drop a little seed in there, and that fixes it.
Oh, well, I believe this is a different pile of dirt, Aaron.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got my piles of dirt confused.
Yeah, this is disturbed dirt.
1,000 fists in the air. That's a Disturbed song, by the way.
That's good.
Thank you. Well, I don't have any shovels, so maybe I'm using something else for that, or maybe that's why they stopped showing up, is because I don't have any shovels.
You got to buy a shovel where you can't interact with it, and the shovel has 5 uses. This is it's funny that we're talking about this, and like everyone's like, yeah, we fucking know, guys. This is basic information. And I'm like, well, I haven't been doing that, guys. Okay.
A dragon aspect didn't tell me in a big banner quest that I'm supposed to be doing this, so I'm stumbling upon it like a baby child.
I blame Toddy Whiskers.
Also, I officially feel like I'm ready to say I like Toddy Whiskers. Like I know, I think on podcast I even said I'm like, who the fuck is this bitch? Like right at the like during pre-patch, because like that was her big introduction, air quotes big introduction. Like she's just there, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? I like her now, by the way.
She just graduated from archaeological school, and she got to meet the people of Stormwind. She's a great person now. We love her. We love Toddy.
I like that a lot of her world quests are like, this group is stunting on us. Use your dragon and do a bunch of flips and throw stuff on the ground. That'll show them. Like, it's like, oh, the Ember Claw took over this spot. How about you, I don't know, put down 7 banners and then they'll feel real bad.
But it is really funny that I feel like, as Slide was saying, that like things that like listeners or other people have like been doing since the beginning of Dragonflight that we're just discovering now. I feel like it again just shows like how many different aspects of the game there currently are that like I still haven't finished like all of my side quests, which has been like a soft goal of mine for a while. I just keep getting pulled to other things. Like I get distracted by professions for like an entire afternoon, or people in the guild want to run some Mythic Plus. I still like I actively have a campaign quest that I just haven't finished yet, where I don't know if you guys got to this part. I don't know if it's like locked behind like Veldraken Accord rep, but I have this one quest where I think I have to go into, what is the one dungeon? It's not in the Mythic Plus pool right now. Halls of Infusion, I think.
Is Halls not in the... Is that...
It is not. No, it is not.
It's so weird, because I was an Older Man, and I was like, oh right, Older Man exists. So yeah, Halls of Infusion makes sense.
Yeah, like there's actively a quest on the campaign right now to like go in there and loot a certain amount of things. So I don't know if you guys got to that part of the campaign yet, where basically the dragon aspects are talking about Tyr and like this message he left for them.
Yes, I did. I'm so sorry. I was looking at something else at that moment. But yes, where you have to go and fight the first guy and you get 10 magic coins off of him, and then you bring Tyr back. Kind of.
So did you just like queue for like a normal or heroic Halls of Infusion then?
Yeah, I just did a normal Halls of Infusion. It's just the first guy that you have to kill, so technically you could do a runner if you want. But...
Wow.
Oh, well, that's what I'm going to be doing, honestly.
It's also, and I've griped about this before, it's weird because Koragos, or that's his name, Coronos says you need to get 10 ingots. Yes. He says you need to get 10 ingots in there. And I was like, okay, well, will it drop off people? But no, the first guy is just holding on to 10 perfectly formed ingots. I was like, oh, we could have spread this out, at least amongst the bosses, so I don't do a runner like I just told people to do.
I mean, I know that's like bad design on their part. I think, because, like, I don't know, I assume not a lot of people are queuing for normal or heroic Halls of Infusion nowadays.
Yeah, I haven't checked. Because like I had to actually, okay. So speaking of weird designs, with professions, I've been getting heavily distracted, as you know by now, by this. I'm finally max level leatherworking. I'm making so many cool things for people, getting lots of hella bread for it. But to fucking make my best in slot shoes, I have to use an altar of decay. To use an altar of decay, I have to go into Brackenhide Hollow, the Knoll dungeon in Iskara Tuskara's place. I have to run the entire fucking dungeon, get to the last boss, and go behind the boss, and there's the altar that I can use to make these special items.
And the thing is, it's not even in the Mythic Plus pool, so, like, you can't even, like, time it with, like, when Ahoy and the gang want to run a Mythic Plus, and you could be like, I see you have a Brackenhide key. Do you want to run that? Because, of reasons.
Yeah, I have to instead queue for a normal or heroic Brackenhide, wait to get in, and then run the whole fucking thing, and then be like, okay, hopefully everyone just leaves, does not try to re-queue, doesn't try to kick me for whatever reason, so I could get this fucking stupid altar and make my shiny shoes. It's kind of cool, but it's very fucking annoying and inconvenient when I need to make them for somebody else.
You know, I like had a little bit of a nerve to like feel like complaining about tailoring, because there are two different bolts of cloth right now. There's like the Azure Weave and the Chrono Cloth, and to make the Chrono Cloth I have to fly over to like Eastern Thaldraszus and go to like Chromie's area, and there's like a loom there where I can make it. And to make the Azure Weave bolts, I need to fly all the way to the southern part of Azure Span and use one of their fancy looms there. And I thought that was bad, but like these, like at least the flight paths are near it. Like if I just want to be fully lazy, I could just like AFK and fly to it. You have to like literally queue for a normal dungeon every time you want to make a pair of boots, which you have to do this week because I like I made a work order for him on his evoker to make my hunter, because he specialized in mail, a pair of boots, and he's like, oh yeah, I can make those, I'm actually good at boots. And I was like, can you make these ones? And then he's like, fuck, these are the ones that I have to go do Brackenhide for.
The only upside is that I will remember the Brackenhide mechanics. I'm not going to go an entire Mythic Plus season, get a new one, and be like, oh my god, I forgot about the most worst dungeon in the pool and how to do it. Let me tell you, I fucking know how to do it.
Well, actually, I think you teed me up really well here. I'm going to pull a time warp.
Whoa! Oh no!
And by time warp, I mean I'm going to have a different type of trivia game this week. I don't really know what to call it, but you talking about mechanics and dungeons really teed me up here. This week, we're having a fast round trivia where I need you to tell me in an answer of either a dungeon or a boss in the raid. So I'll give you a little bit of leeway. Like if it's one of the dungeons, just say which dungeon it's in. Or if it's in the raid, I'm going to ask for a specific boss.
Okay, I think I got it.
And I'm going to ask you, I'm going to give you like the name of a mechanic from a boss.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Like a move that they do?
Ooh, this is different.
And then the first one that I hear to give me an answer, either a dungeon if it's from one of the mythic dungeons, or a boss if it's from one of the raids, whichever one I hear the correct answer from first will be the winner of that point. And
I was like, oh shit, sudden death.
Shit. I was like, oh my god. Okay, got it.
I have 7 prepared, so hopefully, one of you guys gets to 4. Okay, are you ready? Also, I don't know what to call this.
Well, you better think of a name, because that's definitely what the episode is being called.
Okay, our first mechanic is... I'll start us a little bit easy here, I think. Maybe. We'll see. Germinate.
Brackenhide Hollow.
No, it's the one... Oh, God. See, I always confuse
Hall
these two.
of Infusion?
Algathir Academy, and then there's the other one.
Okay, well, Slide first said Algathir Academy, and that is the correct answer.
It's the tree boss.
Yes, it is the tree boss. This is the one that summons all of those little tiny lashers.
I love shitting on them. Andrew Tate got arrested for human trafficking in Romania. Heads
He
up.
did,
Oh my God.
yep.
Yeah.
And they found him. They found his compound or something because he ordered some pizza.
Holy shit. Fucking fuck this guy. Okay, anyway, sorry to break this news, everybody. But this is pretty shocking in the middle of a game.
Oh my god, first off, how dare you interrupt my game that I worked very hard to prepare? But also, like, fuck Andrew Tate, and, like, this is good news, so, like, I mean, it's good news that he's being arrested for something, because he should be arrested for something, but, like, it's very unfortunate that it's human trafficking for all those humans that are being trafficked. Anyways, I feel like I can't just give you guys another ability after that news break.
I'm so sorry. Here. Allow me to bridge the gap. Okay, now give us the next one.
Okay, well, I'm gonna let out an unnerving howl at this news.
Oh my God.
Brackentide Hollow.
I feel like every fucking boss is an unnerving howl.
Oh wait.
Dead Moon Burial Grounds.
Nakun Offensive.
Oh, is that it? That's what I was gonna say. Rally the Clan.
No, neither of you guys have gotten it yet, I don't believe. Also, like, can we talk about how, like, the Naked Offensive, a lot of their abilities are, like, kind of suspect?
Yeah, we'll talk about it after this game. You've already
Ruby Life Pools.
I go to their academy.
Uldamon.
No
Tears
one's
Descent.
done it yet.
Okay, it's probably a raid boss. Unnerving Howl. Is the ability purple?
The Primal Council.
Okay, I will steer you away from it's not in the raid, y'all.
Damn.
4 stars. I go to their academy. Ruby Life Pools. Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. Halls of Infusion. Oh my God! What's the other? I can see the dungeon, but I can't fucking think of it.
I mean,
Neltharion?
you're just naming them all, so I'm like, eventually one of you guys will get them, but you haven't yet.
It's not Neltharion?
No.
What haven't we said? Uldamon?
It's gonna
When
be
I
like the
said
last
that-
one.
It's gonna be the last one we say.
Jesus Creases. I don't fucking... Okay,
People
so
are
every place has
screaming
to...
all the
Azure
names right
Vault.
now.
Azure Vault.
Dasha, Dancing, Blitzen. My brain, I
What's
cannot think of the
what's
last
the-
one. We're missing one, right?
Doesn't every place have two? What's the other one in...
Ruby Life Pools. Am I confusing it? It's the one that confused with Algorithm Academy, I think.
The other one in the Maruk area. Not Nakun Defensive.
There's 2 in the Maruk area?
It's
Is
one of
there?
the
I
one of the old dungeons, guys.
Ah!
Halls of Valor!
Yeah, there you go. Slide got it.
Oh my God! Wait, is that nerving? How does Fenrir?
Fenrir does it. Fenrir
It's the one that interrupts you.
God, I can't believe. I honestly forget that Halls of Valor is in the pool. Whenever I see it in like the Mythic Key group, I'm like, oh my God, Halls of Valor! What the fuck?
Okay. So far, Slide has 2. Aaron, you gotta pick it up.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Okay, our next ability, we have Static Charge.
Brackentide Hollow.
Nakun Defensive.
Halls of Infusion.
We're gonna do it again. Wait, Static Charge. Razageth.
Court of Stars.
Okay, Slide sniped that one. It is the
Okay.
Razageth ability. It's the one that puts down the pools. Okay, here we go. Our 4th ability, we have Concussive Slam.
Nakun Defensive.
Brackentide
Snuck?
Hollow.
No?
Court of Stars.
Halls of Infusion.
This makes me realize I literally do not know the names of mechanics. I know them by like
Shadow Moon Burial Grounds.
scary.
I mean, maybe I picked a bad one here. I feel like this is one that sounds like it could be anywhere.
Yeah, I do feel like anyone can throw their weight and hit someone with a slam.
Taros. Aeronog.
Okay, it's Taros.
Okay,
Oh, there
that
you
makes
go.
sense. It's when he does like the big double fisties, right? He goes, huh.
I believe this is the one that targets tanks and then knocks down pillars.
Yes. I was about to say, it's not one that I have to deal with, so I hardly know it.
Yeah, I'm like, I just fly away on my little wings.
Okay, well, since I only had 7 prepared, Slide went 4-0. But if you guys want, I can name the other 3 if you want to just keep going for them.
Hit us.
Yeah, I don't want all your work to go to waste.
Okay, we have Coalescing Storm.
Nakun
Nakun
Defensive.
Defensive.
It's in the raid.
Dathia.
Dathia Ascended.
I'll call that one a tie.
That's a bit generous.
Okay, then we have Touch of Nothingness.
Halls of Infusion.
No, I know what this.
Brackenhide Hollow.
It's Jade Temple.
Yeah, it's the Shaw at the last boss.
Yeah, because yeah.
And then the last one I have prepared here is Absolute Zero.
Azure Vault.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby. 7-1.
Yeah, 7-1, I guess.
All right, Aaron, that's 7 shots.
Whoa, I didn't say that.
Oh, sorry. I just walked away from my computer for a while. Here I go. Drinking my drink.
Oh my God,
Lord.
what was that? That sounded so...
I tilted back and I hit my my thingy that goes in front of... God, the thingy that stops the P sound.
It sounded funny.
Yeah, it did.
It was like, boing.
I was gonna say that sounds like an actual flask in WoW, like when you use it, or like a potion.
But all beans. I lost that one. I'm sorry. It's just because I was too focused on the returning segment, Heroes Callboard.
Holy shit! I mean.
Heroes Callboard!
Heroes Callboard.
Dragon riding sucks, to be honest.
Honestly, maybe it does.
Shanalist said, it's been a while, I forgot the format. Shanalist, the level 60 Night Elf Demon Hunter, said, got one day of access to the forums left. Figured I'd just say this for people that had their hopes slightly up, but aren't total drones, so they are capable of disappointment. I got beta a few days ago. Oh, wow, this one's old. I just realized, why was this one pushed forward so much? And dragon riding is lame. Anyone hyping it up is either just a typical corporate drone that hypes anything their favorite brand does, or is an actively paid shill.
Whoa.
It is literally just flying, but worse. Yes, it is faster, but maintaining it is just annoying. I don't really want to think about moving from place to place. I just want to do it.
Yeah.
This is like putting a stamina bar on our characters and forcing us to RP walk when it runs out. I don't have an issue with being an expansion feature. I'm not saying to not have it. I'm just saying it's not what shills hype it to be. I went in with a pretty neutral mind. I figured at most it'd be pretty much the same, but really it's just worse. The extra speed is not worth the negatives. All in all, it makes travel from one point to another annoying. It's only fun for the races, because it's basically like a racing minigame. I don't want to play a minigame when I'm just trying to get somewhere. I'm thankful that regular flying will come back eventually.
Okay, now while we riff about this, find that last comment and see why the fuck it was bumped to be posted now. I semi-agree with this, not entirely, but I do kind of wish I could just regular fly sometimes.
A few weeks ago, Slide and I were driving back from that wedding up in northern Michigan, and we filled our trip with a lot of podcasts. And one of the podcasts, I believe, was Blizzard Watch. One of the hosts, I forget her name, was saying that she both loves and hates dragon riding, and I think that is basically where I've ended up too. I love it in the sense that it's fun. It's different, it's fast, and I think it's cool. The music in the races is fun, but I hate it in the sense that, like, it's the only source of flight that we have in this zone. You can, like, fuck up a path and, like, run out of stamina, as that poster said, and it's really, really bad. The part that annoys me the most personally is, like, if you're trying to hover over an area to try to scope it out to see, like, where one of your objectives is, like, where an herb or a mining node is, or, like, if you're in war mode, per se, and you need to, like, just... Normally, I'd just be, like, flying above stationary just to see, like, see the lay of the land. Like, you can't do that with this. Like, you need to, like, circle, and it's kind of annoying and a little bit disorienting.
It's just a little too fast. When it's fast, it's fast. But when you need it to be slow, there's no slow option. Good luck.
I mean, just kind of tilt your head up, and I can tell you that makes me feel like I'm going snail's pace. Like, I am actively flying forward, but I was like, damn, you changed your momentum even a little bit, and you're done.
Did you find the post?
And I did find, this is back on my radar because Chuck Nourish, the level 60 Kultiran Druid, said, personally, I feel that dragon riding is fun on concept, but fails a bit in execution. I don't think it sucks, but it can be really annoying sometimes. And having read through the rest of Chuck and now the new discussions things, that's the big thing is people wish that they could hover. They wish they could go slow while they're flying. There's a big debate between people who said, I like flying the speed it is, and people who said, you're just wanting air swimming.
This is also interesting because, so you said he was a Coltarian druid. Because of how prevalent druids are in WoW, it's probably 1/4 of the complaints are just druids. Because for the first time in WoW history, we actually lost an ability. We don't have a reason to use travel form anymore. We don't have a reason to go into dope form and run across. We don't have a reason to go into fight form and fly anymore. So I had to rebind my buttons entirely to move my fight form off my bar. Fuck. So like it's a weird, like usually we have the advantage in an early expansion, and we did not because we can't just fly from quest to quest. You know, we gotta fucking dragonfly and manage it.
I was just going to say that, like, would you have had the advantage of flying at this point? Because in a lot of new expansion areas, like, no one has flying for, like, probably up until now, if not a little bit longer after now.
But when flying is first available, is what I'm saying. And now flying is available from day one, but it's different because we're just used, we can fly? Oh yeah, I'll just go and travel from and I'll fly. Oh, fuck, I can't do that. Shit, I gotta move the buttons around.
Now, my big thing with dragon flying that I don't like as much is just, I feel like they intended that to be the only way or the main way to get around. So they made these huge areas with not a lot of stuff in them. It's sort of mirroring what happened when BC came out, and they were like, well, we don't need to populate the ground as much because they'll be above it. But now they need to do it even less because, yes, you're above the ground, but you're also flying very fast through the area. So it's like,
yeah,
we don't even need to give them a lot of stuff to see. We just need to give them the simulation of it being like vegetated and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had to add a lot of land to not feel like it was small. But I will say, I haven't really felt like it's been unpopulated, but maybe that's because I'm a leather worker and I'm a skinner. So what I see is just big plains of beasts for me to kill, which I do stop at frequently in murder. So,
but I will counter with, you go to areas and they're very vertically based. So it makes sense that a lot, like, they invented dragon riding and then they sort of made zones that are dragon riding based, where it's like, okay, well, I need to be able to scale this cliff quickly because, like, I'm thinking of Obsidian Sanctum. If you could not dragonfly up the many levels and you had to actually go talk to the fairy guy every time, I'd be like, this place is terrible.
Like Revendreth-esque before we had flying.
Yeah,
mountain.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I have to physically walk up and down. I have to wait for the elevator. So in areas that are vertically based, it makes sense. And I guess the big flat areas are big and flat, so it makes sense. I'm talking down my own argument here, but it's just like, I don't know. I would have loved, I hate to say it, I would have loved being limited, having to stay on the ground a little bit more before I was able to fly, but they gave it to you pretty early on to just be like, oh, nah, fuck that noise, just go.
They also did say that, like, I think one of their biggest regrets of WoW, period, is adding flying at all. So this is a way that they can, like, neuter it, and they can neuter the flying, because, boy, sometimes, like, I'll be flying, and I'm like, oh, I'm having so much fun, I'm zooming, and then I'll land, and I'll kill something, and then it'll be like, a war chest is dropping, and I'm like, my vigor has to recharge, and it's so far away, and I'm in a fucking valley, and I can't get there fast enough.
And the thing is, if they ever do allow normal flying in Dragonflight, because of what Aaron said, like, the zones are bigger because Dragonflight is expected there, I feel like normal flying will feel very, very slow in these regions if they ever do introduce it.
I'll be fucking soaring.
Even just going from, like, when I port back to Stormwind, going from the mage area to the auction house, I have to normal fly, and I'm like, this isn't what I'm used to. I'm forever ruined now.
My only other real complaint right now is that we have dungeons and things where you can mount, but you can't dragon ride mount or whatever the fuck they're called. I just feel like they should allow those dragons to be able to be ridden outside of the Dragon Isles. Just don't let them fly. Like, I feel like that would be the solution there.
It fucks with my bars. I have to fucking move them. I'm not gonna get a separate hotkey for a Dragonflight mount versus a not. I'm not gonna make a macro. It's dumb that they make me have to make a macro to be able to use it in a dungeon that's in a Dragonflight zone. Other than the Coon, it's very bizarre, not consistent. This actually will lead me into my next thing, which I'm gonna call this Wild Seed's Hot Soup Takes.
Oh, so hot.
This is a hot take that I have.
It's really interesting to me that the week that Wild Seed officially gets demoted from main to main alt, he gets a second segment. What is this booking?
He's got the takes, let me tell you. This is gonna sound really weird.
He has the extra time now.
And I realize that not all people are gonna agree with this, which is fine. This is why I'm calling it a hot take. I actually would wish that they would bring back the caps at the beginning of a season. So I wish that they would make it so this time around, everything was open right away, right? You can do everything right away. I kind of wish it wasn't that way. I kind of wish it was weekly capped to where, like, you didn't have to do plus 15s or plus 20s until week 3. You know, like, because before, 10s were the best things you could do, and then you were loot locked. Like the cap was there, the Valor cap was there. Obviously, we're still Valor capped, but now there's just so many things to do when I go to Valdrakken that I'm just like, oh my god, I can't keep up with all of these things that I have to do, and then I feel so behind, because for me, I like to cram every single thing, and I know not everybody has time for that. Not everyone has time to do every single thing, which is why it's better this way for the majority of the population to open it up. But man, I wish we would have those, like, okay, WoW is not fully released until a month in. I kind of want that back, as crazy as that sounds.
I mean, at least they gave us 2 weeks of, like, air quotes, nothingness at the beginning of this expansion.
I wanted more. But also Christmas did kind of mess with it. The holidays were kind of there, so it was like a week where, like, it was just kind of like a behind week. I don't know. I think I kind of liked it before, where I knew people couldn't get ahead of me because they were just pushing, like, high keys, and I'm just like, I want to make my leather apron. And, like, it's a choice that I made, yes. I don't know. I think I kind of like the caps better.
High Keys was my favorite show on Cartoon Network after Teen Titans. It was such a shame they had to retool it into Hi Puffy Ami Yumi. They really ruined a good thing there. Also, you called it Hot Soup Takes, and I was really excited to see what opinions you had about soup.
No, the soup is perfect. The soup is perfect. The only thing I complain
No,
I have...
it's not.
It is.
It's
just
not
don't
perfect.
just don't
It's
fucking
not.
don't fucking do it in non-war mode. If you're doing it in non-war mode, you're fucking up.
I did it in war mode, and there was still too many people.
Then switch.
Slidewhistle. It happened to us literally yesterday when war mode had too many people.
It has happened to me. Okay, so I think I have probably done the most soup out of any human being on this planet. It happened to me one singular time, and it happened to me the night after a holiday at 2 a.m. It's a weird time. People are on because everyone's this is Gremlin week right now. Between Christmas and New Year's Day, everyone's fucking playing this game. I don't count that as a real statistic of that fucking up. Non-war mode has you will get quadruple the rep you get in regular phasing soup quests if you just go in the war mode. I promise you, most of the time.
But the thing is, there were so many people there that I was not getting tasks. There was, dare I say, too many cooks spoiled the broth, and the broth was me getting a little pot from the helper guy. The thing is, you have to do 5 tasks, and I could only do 4 of them. I had to come back another day just to do 1 task, because there were so many people that Big Canuck was like, you 7, you stir the pot. You 10, you beat up the fish. I was just like, what about me, Big Canuck? And he was like, I don't know what you do.
You know what's funny, though? Like, I found out on my Hunter this week that a lot of these quests carry over to the next week, because I do, like, all of the quests on my Priest, and then I just, like, kind of scrape by on my Hunter with that stuff. I mean, like, my Hunter's still geared. Honestly, probably better geared than my Priest in some ways, but I discovered this week that, like, you know, the weekly quests were, like, you know, earn 3,000 rep, and then, like, whatever other random quest it is, where, like, this week, for some reason, it was, like, do the soup, but, like, strangely enough, only just do 1 task of soup.
Trying to get people to do content they would normally do, which is, I think, a great way of doing it, and the rep's still there. So everyone in our guild was having this problem where everyone was only getting 2 quests like the entire time. During the time that everybody was complaining about it, I was like, all right, fuck this. I put on my Stormwind cape, boarded the Stormwind, turned back on war mode, Hearthstoned back to Iskara, and got 13 quests in the span.
Then I don't know what was happening. I was in a shard with everyone then because I was in war mode. A horde guy even came by to be like, I've got some pepper. We kicked the shit out of him. So we swallowed him up so fast, people didn't even know he was there. They were like, I think they were just trying to attack the fish, and they right-clicked on this man and all killed him.
You know what? Like, also, I think Slide is probably one of the, like, few, if not only person who has their Hearthstone set to Iskara.
Iskara's right there. If you're doing the soup, just go talk to the soup lady and just put your Hearthstone there. And then cape, and then Hearthstone, right? Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
but...
I need to have it in the back area of the inn to see something cool. Sometimes I port in there, and then it's empty every single time. But I'm like, oh, one of these days it'll be cool.
There's been nothing cool there yet in the secret inn in Valdragon.
Nothing cool, and I check like every 2 days. I keep missing it. The guy keeps polishing the cup, and he's like, oh, you just missed it. Jaina mud wrestled with a Murloc, and I was like, for real? I was like, yeah, show up later, I guess.
They're like, oh my god, Aaron's heart thing. We have 10 seconds to get this place fucking cleaned up and looking boring as shit before he gets here. Go.
That nasty wolf lady spinning her hands. Green leaves are coming off of the cloud.
But, oh, yeah. What I was trying to say, we got a little off the rails there, if you will. But, I noticed this week on my Hunter that, like, if you don't do, like, the weekly quests, it just carries over. So, like, I started this week on my Hunter with, like, 2,000 out of 3,000 rep and, like, do whatever other thing it was last week. And then I finished it, and then I just didn't get this week's weekly, so it just takes the place of it. So, like, that feels bad. But the same thing happened with last week's weekly soup thing. I was 3 out of 5 do soup event tasks on my Hunter, so I only had to do 2 this week, and then I got that done.
Oh man, you had a 3 soup week? Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, my Hunter is the slacker on all of the quests and reps.
Also, everyone, I did state that Andrew Tate was arrested, or his area was seized because of pizza, but didn't know how. It was because the Romanian government needed proof that he was in Romania, and in this video message he put out, apparently he's mean mugging behind a box of like Romanian Dominoes.
That's what you're doing right now during recording? You're looking at that?
It happened to be on my phone as I was dismissing the Heroes Call board.
Also, Pele died. R.I.P. R.I. Pele.
Yeah. Pele.
Let's talk about Raid. Let's talk about Raid a little bit. A little bit of Raid. Good prog. We killed the boss Diurna. Broodkeeper Diurna is normal. Is our group's last kill.
We killed it on Slidewhistle's birthday, so happy birthday, Slidewhistle.
Happy birthday, Slidewhistle.
I didn't fucking get any of the loot, because Stephanie had all the loot. Who fucking cares? I don't care. It was a scam birthday. I didn't get any fucking staff from her.
Hey, it was probably one of her kids' birthdays. Statistically, she's covering a wide swath of days.
I just wanted that fucking beautiful staff. Oh, it's so good. But honestly, I was a little worried for us at first, because I don't think one of our tanks was... I think he was too busy focusing on how to move the lightning through an egg that he just wasn't hitting any defensive buttons. And once we pulled him off of that duty, we were good. We were golden. We were good.
Yeah, love him to death, but he really needs to have things one at a time. And I think sometimes in a raid atmosphere, you're juggling some plates, and it's
especially
like,
with us,
oh, baby boy. It was a little tough at the beginning, but we had to get all our ducks in a row, and then eventually we did. And it was, I mean, I don't know for other people. I did see some people fall over, but from my spot of just shooting little guys with fireballs, I was like, this one's really easy. This is a no-brainer.
I mean, speaking of getting our ducks in a row, in particular, my one duck, Bill.
He kept walking in lines back and forth.
I know. So, like, other BM hunters probably understand the plight here. So basically, the way our guild did it, and I think this is common, they, like, split, like, range and melee between, like, handling the ads and handling just tunneling the boss, and like in our raid we're like melee, you tunnel the boss, range, you kill the ads. And like originally as a BM hunter, I was like over with the range and like doing the ads, and then like we would kill the ads and then have a little bit of downtime between like when the next set of ads spawn. So I'd try to go back over and like do a little bit of damage to the boss, and my pets were just like constantly trying to run back and forth. We were missing like lots of attacks because of this. So I just posted it like in like raid chat, and like Lynn, our raid lead, I'm like, I'm gonna go with the melee group because my pets don't fucking know how to handle this. He never responded, but like I just left you guys, and I think it was fine.
You know what? And I just pieced it together because remembering my time as a Beastmaster, I get why you were getting upset that your dogs weren't in a line there, because that's 99 out of 100 things that a Beastmaster does. If your pets aren't attacking the guy, you're really just Cobra shotting.
No, because like I feel like back in Shadowlands, like my pets were like maybe half of my damage, but like with current builds in Dragonflight, they're anywhere from like 65 to 80% of my damage. So I'm like, if they are not having proper uptime, like that's a huge DPS loss.
I think the other solution was to just not hit the boss, probably, because I was hitting the boss in between because I didn't have time, because I'm like, I gotta cash it, I'm just gonna go, and I literally spent 5 to 7 seconds just arms crossed standing in front of the 3 orbs. I'm like, okay, the ads are coming, and I'm just standing here. I'm like, this feels really fucking wrong, and they come out, and then I fucking goo on all of them, and it feels so fucking good. Evoker's fun in that fight, so fun. This raid feels like it was tailor-made for an Evoker, not for damage, but just like for fun and like abilities and things I can do. It's so cool.
I mean, in some ways it probably was, because it's the first raid that was designed like when Evokers were even a thought.
I feel like all of my buttons, all of my cooldowns are used in some fight. Like, I have a 30% AoE reduction for everybody. I was popping that shit on the first Razageth. We pulled Razageth like a little bit. We didn't kill her. And I was popping it on the first like knockback, and it saved so much damage. It was great. I was flying someone because, like, you know, I can rescue people far away. I would pick him up and I would fly his big furry owl ass forward, and he whispered me. He was like, "Thank you. I can't move for shit on this character in this fight because it's such a humongous room. It's so big."
Yeah, I guess so. We can talk about that. So, like, our guild is currently like 7 out of 8 normal. We are pulling Razageth. We had honestly some pretty decent prog on Razageth, but like that fight is intimidating. It's like a huge ass room, and all the mechanics are kind of crazy. We go between these giant platforms with like big ass Razageth, like swooping around and attacking us on all these different platforms. We have to divide into 2 groups to go to the left platform and right platform and kill all these like storm ads on each one, and it's just quite the fight. I mean, I'm sure we'll get tired of it soon, like Sylvanas and all that, but I mean, it seems a little less annoying than Sylvanas so far, even though we've only made it to like phase 3, right? Or phase 2 even.
Yeah, I would say on normal, in normal comparisons, this fight is going to be a cakewalk compared to normal Sylvanas. I mean, they did say that they were tuning things down a bit. I mean, Razageth is still scary. Don't get me fucking wrong. That the deep breath beam is the amount of times I went, I was gonna scream. That I've actually screamed, "Move! We gotta move! Ah, it's coming!"
I believe Slide is talking about phase 1 when she does her like blue eyes white dragon laser beam down the middle. Because I think when she's like flying over above on phase 2 when we're all off on the platforms, it's actually called deep breath, and like she flies over us.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I met her first. Like, I'm spitting lightning like a blue eyes white dragon. Like Sully posted in our Discord at Do Not Relent DoNotRelent.com. Just upped it, baby. Okay, this does remind me. This is also a second hot take, but I don't think it's really a hot take. I want personal loot back. Fuck rolling for loot. Fuck it. I don't want to roll for loot. I hate it. I feel like you can get fucked so many times.
So far, every single week that the raid has been open, I've been in a raid group where the same person has rolled need and gotten like 2 of the tier pieces of like their specific like loot spec. So like in this one, like Ahoy, like I mean, obviously I'm not blaming him. Like I obviously roll need on both so that your chances are higher. But like like, what are the chances that so far, like, every raid I've been in, this has happened, where, like, someone has rolled need and gotten both of their tier pieces, and then, like, it just devolves into chaos. I'm like, personally, I feel like, I don't know, it should be a roll-off between, like, the people who are, like, runner-ups in both of them, or one of them, I don't know. But then, like, it always just devolves into, like, a mad, like, oh, well, I need this too, and then everyone just ends up re-rolling again, but then, like, the person who was in second place and the other ones ends up being on last now. It just feels bad.
Hey, I disagree with that statement, because I am that guy. I'll enjoy my nepotism baby luck.
But you got two red pieces in one roll?
No, he was the one that, like, was not in second place and then swooped in on the chaos roll.
Oh, I get it. But then also, my thing is, how do you determine which piece gets second place? Are you saying you want to roll off between both second places? Like, that's too much work.
Well, I mean, in this case, I mean, Aaron may have noticed it too. And Ahoy was, like, the winner of both of those, and Myth was number 2 in both of those.
Okay, so I didn't know he was number 2 in both roles. It should have gone to Myth. So we need to probably bring this up because, and this is why I hate this, because we have to have fucking, like, additional fake rules to handle this.
Loot council because of the in-game system.
Like make it an option. Give us personal loot, or let us pick between those two, so we can always pick personal loot. And if other guild groups want to do the roll, then they can do the fucking roll. But I am sick of the roll. I'm sick of the roll, and I've won from it. But you're right. We've been with 3 different raid comps of different people that have had 2 people both win the tier pieces. It seems to always happen. I don't know if it's a bug. Like, I don't have enough evidence to say it's a bug. But, I mean, maybe we're just really unlucky in how these rolls work out, but it is pretty bizarre that it keeps shaking out this way. Persephone walked away with 2 pieces of loot. 3 pieces of loot that night. 2 from Diurna, which is an evoker's. Diurna has the evoker's best raid loot, top to bottom, every piece, and she took both of them home with her. I don't blame her. I would take them both if I won them too. But it's like, that feels so bad. Also, Brio is joining us now. Brio's in the other raid group, but it's just fine. I love Brio. He never means any harm. But he joined with the Shadow Priest on our raid group, and he won a piece of tier on his alt. A piece of Shadow Priest tier. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So you taking tier is kind of a problem, because we have other clothies. What was it? Paladins, mages, and priests that share it. Aaron, that was your tier that Brio put on.
No,
not you.
No, it's mage, druid, hunter.
Hunter. No, shaman. Hunter is with druid.
No, what I'm saying is, like,
yeah, mage, druid, hunter. That's why priest. Immune and I. Well, yeah.
Priest,
so I'm
paladin,
I'm
shaman?
not there. Yes, probably.
So he's taking loot from Ash. He's taking loot from all paladins, Vegemite,
Vegemite, Paliath,
Elu. Yeah.
So, I don't know. That we should probably. I'm assuming because Lynn is a priest, he probably noticed that he had his loot yoinked from him by an alt from the other raid. I mean, as long as Brio joins us whenever he can, every single time, I guess it's fine. But I was like, I don't think I like that, you know? I'm like, do I join their raid with my druid and take their tier now? Because obviously it's going to be okay.
I mean, the precedence has been set.
Also, get this. During the raid last night, Kata posted an officer chat. There's some officer chat intel. And she said...
some drama.
I couldn't believe she was being serious. She said, do you guys also charge people 500 gold to the guild bank when they release early? And I said, no, LOL. Honestly, that sounds pretty nutty to me. Why are you guys doing that? And she was like, well, it works. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to argue with getting suckers to agree with putting money in the guild bank, but that's pretty crazy, isn't it? That's nuts.
It kind of is. It's a little drastic to me.
It's a little unhinged.
It's a minor inconvenience. Now, I know they might not have a warlock maybe to make a gate or whatever. They don't have the flexibility that we do. But that just kind of seems like if we were to tell other people, like, yeah, we don't have to pay when we do a very minor fuck up. They're like, dang, I don't want to be here then.
I think they have a warlock. I think, is Honors on a warlock with them? Honors is warlocking with them. So, I don't really, it's kind of weird.
Well, realistically, it's probably Honors that's releasing.
You're probably right. Good shit. We had some great Razageth pulls. I think we're gonna kill Razageth next week. Everyone in this guild group now has basically a full normal raid loot tier to pull from in the next Great Vault, which is gonna be fantastic.
And I think even more people next week will be getting 2-set. I've been fortunate on my hunter that I do have 2-set. I got 2-set with my vault this week.
Oh yeah. What's our tier check, Aaron? What's your tier check?
I am sitting at 2, and I'm sitting at 1 tier, but he doesn't have a soul yet, but his body's there.
Oh, okay. My evoker has not seen a single piece of tier. I've met tier, but no tier pieces. I don't think evoker's tier is that great, so I just want the staff. So whatever. My druid has come across 4 pieces of tier. I only have 2. I could have had 4 at a certain point if I grabbed vaults, but it's very weird how like it can shake out so differently for each character, you know? Personal loot, please. Give me an option. I've killed for personal loot again.
But speaking of shaking things and pulling things, I want to tell you about this week's sexiest NPC of the week.
Ooh!
Ooh, I need you two to chill out. Like, for real? Especially because we are about to invite Malidrusa Chillworn into the hallowed halls of sexiest NPC of the week.
But wait, we cannot interrupt Melidrusa's research.
Melidrusa. Oh, she's so fucking hot, dude. Ooh.
Except that she's
Wait.
not, because she's cold.
I was going to say, is she
shoots
hot
ice.
or is she cold?
And I love this girl so much, but when you mentioned Melidrusa Chillworn, I had to go, okay, which ice primalist is this? And it is not the one from Hall of Infusion. It is the one from Ruby Life Pools.
Yeah, the one currently in the rotation for Mythic Plus, the first boss in the Ruby Life Pools. And let me just say, she is a very attractive Night Elf Primalist. I mean, I'm sure there's several of them. I mean, Aaron probably has his thoughts about her being a Night Elf, but we will...
I can
Is
say
she Night Elf? She could be one of those dirty little other elves, the Suramar elves. Her skin is purple, her eyes are white. It's kind of vague. Who knows?
That's true. I will say, when it comes to Night Elf, Nasty Elf, maybe High Elf, or Purplish High Elf, Ice guys who are in the Primalist, she takes the cake. She's better than the one from the Primal Council fight.
And she's got the best hype, man. Man, let me tell you, when that man is like, no, I must protect Melidrusa. The way he says her name invokes such sexual energy that I just get excited. A hole is punched into my desk as a boner erupts through the wood and cracks it on all sides.
Speaking of sexual energy, when we were deciding in like our pre-production meeting who our sexiest NPC of the week was going to be, Slidewhistle had a hot, or should I say cold, tip to go to Melidrusa Chillworn's Wowhead page. And if you go to her sounds and press play on all of them at the same time, let me just say it's a very sexual experience.
It is quite explicit. Play all 11 sounds, hit play on all of them, and it's It's kind of gets you a little excited.
My final statement: when I think about Melidrusa Chillworn, my goobers start acting up, and I go,
"Oh yeah,
sorry, young one,
yeah?
I have to release you prematurely."
Oh my god. I mean, and like, let me just say, like, same. My young ones are released prematurely, and the sheer screams of some kind of feeling is released. Side note though, like, have you guys heard those whelps like scream when you like clear them all out at once? That is probably the loudest experience during this expansion.
So
I love dropping a meteor on them and just being like, ah! And crushing their tiny little soft spots.
It was one of my M0s today because it's the two weekly quests are in the life pool. So go there, get hella rep. And it was an M0, and we had a Windwalker monk, me and my feral druid, and a demon hunter. Probably 3 of the most cracked AoE people ever. They died instantly, and they all went at once. They were all in unison. I wanted to throw my headphones across the fucking room. It was so scary.
Same, but me when I splooged thinking of Meladrusa Chillworm, this week's sexiest NPC of the week.
Who the fuck has Meladrusa on Proudmoore? Somebody here fucking has the name, and it's pissing me off. It's me. I have the name Meladrusa. It's me, baby. I'm Meladrusa.
The subterfuge.
We're gonna hype her the fuck up. Also, guys, we can't. Sorry. Meladrusa, we love you. Here's your trophy. It's in the mail. Guys, we have to start doing hella marketing bread because, don't forget, our dungeon is coming next season. In season 2, we're gonna have Commander Linden is gonna look everyone in the face. We need to start making do not relent content. I don't know what that means. I'm like, do I make a TikTok account? And I think I'm going to. That's my plan. Saying it here will hopefully hold me to this because I have plans for memes because they're going to be like, oh my God, what a fun, quirky line. I have heard this in, 13 years? Like, when was Bob even last, relevant?
I just still want to reiterate how fucking bonkers it is that this throwaway Mists of Pandaria rework of an old dungeon introduced this character that happened to be R3, when we all got into WoW, a dungeon that we all leveled through enough when we first started playing, that this particular character said this line enough that it resonated with us that, a few years later, we created a podcast based on this line that perhaps many of our listeners do not even realize where that came from until now because it's so fucking obscure. But now it's going to be back in the pool of Mythic Plus in a few months, and it's our time, baby.
When we first were a podcast 4 years ago, Ro, the supposed World of Warcraft podcast king, didn't even understand the reference. Homie, people are going to be Googling, what? Another Dom, do not relent. That's a fun line. We're going to be the fucking top result, because I made sure to curate against all those Christians, which is weird that it's a very Christian phrase. Do not relent. We're reclaiming it, baby.
As non-Christians, well, at least I'm not.
How dare.
My name's Christian.
Xtian for me.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Anyway, yeah, big news. I guess we'll do top 2, bottom moot, medium moot. Immune, kick us off while I blow my nose into a tissue.
We'll have fun with that. But my top 2 this week is that on my priest, I got to the rep level with the Tuskar, where I could do a quest where there is a second group of Tuskar not in the Azure Span that you start communing with, and you have to help them in their tribe, and the capstone of it is that you unlock being able to tame Odyx as a hunter.
Ooh.
And yeah,
I was just yeah, they're neat, but as a hunter.
Yeah, and what I found out, which is really neat, it's account wide, so I unlocked that ability on my priest, and now I was able to tame them on my hunter, who is not that same rep level with the Tuskar.
Nice. What did you name them?
That's crazy, because normally that's not, they don't normally do that. You have to do it on your main. They have made so many great strides to make this alt friendly, and I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, I feel like it's been really good this expansion. But yes, I did name, I captured a blue Odyx from the Azure Span, and I named him Gable. And so we were running a dungeon yesterday, and I also have a very large it's some kind of moose of some kind.
Okay, so you know what a Northrend scary big elk moose looks like, right? This boy, I've never seen
talking about Larry.
No, this is Otis.
So I caught a second one and named it Otis. So yes, Larry does still exist, but he's in my stable right now.
It looks so high def. It almost looks like you're a new it's a new tank. Like it looks like an actual, like better than like most player models when it's that size.
Because it's an Azure Span model, so I captured him. He's like a big ass moose. He's so big, and like when he is like under bestial wrath, he's like even bigger. He's like fucking huge, and bigger than like some bosses even.
When this fucking moose is fucking under bestial wrath, he is like 1.5 to 2 times the size of a guardian druid in bear form. It's that fucking big. It's so big that Ahoy in one of our keys was like, I can't see anything over this moose. It's in the way. Like I can't see the mechanics. And he's right. It's hard to see anything under this moose. But it's so cool and so scary that like I'm here for it. Live your life. Live your life.
Instead of chasing the paper. But yeah, I named my big moose Otis and my Audic Gable. So like for any Alpha Academy fans out there, shoes please. It's a reference.
Shorty Gable is probably one of my favorite current wrestlers right now. And yeah, he's getting the job treatment, but like mechanically, he's so good in the ring. If you're watching wrestling, so good in the ring. I wish they would elevate him. I think Otis is holding him back. Otis is good, but I hope they can find something for him, but I don't know. But I love that like his fucking Audic is like an inch large. It's so tiny. And Otis is the size of 5 men in World of Warcraft. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, that's my long-winded top toot. Aaron, what do you got?
Well, I gotta say that my top toot of the week goes to my beloved wife, Cubby Bub. For Feast of Wintervale, she gave me not only a wonderful podcasting arm that I've been fucking around with all recording, because it's new, so I gotta break the joints in. I gotta get it right.
Oh, is it clipped onto your desk?
Yes, it is. So
welcome to the club, mate.
Ironically, I was like, yes, so now I won't hit my mic when I'm recording anymore, and like, I've hit it 7 times.
No, you will hit it more, and also if you pound your fist, it's still gonna vibrate. It doesn't do nothing.
But, and then also got me a Elgato. Well, worked with my parents to get me an Elgato video recording device. So I will be able to stream non-PC based games. Get ready for Diddy Kong Racing, baby! That just happens to be what's in the N64 in front of me. But very excited.
I almost bought an Elgato just so I could stream Earthbound, so I can have one playthrough of me playing Earthbound where I just kill the goats for ketchup packets and sell them for 5 hours. And so I'd have it so I know never to have to do it again. I'm thinking about it.
That would be worthwhile. But yes, I'm very excited. You'll catch more diverse streaming stuff at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. But while I have your attention, I'm going to pass it on to my good friend, Slidewhistle. What is your TTBBMM?
I have a top toot this week. Triple top toot.
Toot.
Auga.
It's not fucking Boke Day. Take it back.
Honestly, this is going to be pretty close to... This is probably an Auga Jr., if I'm being honest. Auga Jr. For the first time in my WoW career, I've been playing since Worlds of Draenor. I'm Reno Darling. I went into the Feast of Wintervale present completely blind. I had no clue what it was gonna be. Normally, I'm like, I can't help myself. I gotta see what it looks like. Oh, it's a fucking pet. Oh, fuck me. I was like, what is this? What's it gonna be? I don't know. And I was so excited to see that I'm not getting not 1, but 2 toys for Wintervale. Like, you can tell they tried to do something, like, kind of different this year. But, you know, it's like, you get a Crash and Thrash in this, or a Crash and Thrash in that. May's Snowball launcher thing, her Another Blaster, is probably one of the coolest toys I've ever done. In 2014, 2015, I don't remember when that was. Anyway, this one is you throw a star, and even the act of throwing a star just looks so pretty and it looks so cool. And I'm not sure if the cooldown is reduced for Wintervale or if I can throw it indefinitely, but I can throw it whenever I fucking want. And imagine seeing like everybody in your raid throw a star into the air, how pretty it'd make the fucking sky look.
For reference, it's not currently like unlimited, but it's a pretty short cooldown. It's like somewhere between 5 and 10 seconds, I think. And
then the other cooldown is you can catch it. You can catch it, and then I don't know if you can throw it back. I've never been able to catch one yet because, you know, playing around Christmas time with the family around was a little hard. But we should test this out, see what we can do with this, how far we can throw it. It's just really neat. And the fact that I went unspoiled and was like legitimately surprised was just like a really cool feeling.
I also went in not knowing what it was, and also I still have yet to use the catching one because like I haven't seen anybody throwing them, so I haven't been able to coordinate trying to catch it.
Dope though. I'm a huge fan, and I surprised myself by not spoiling myself.
Speaking of getting spoiled, we're absolutely spoiled by our Patreon patrons. These include Command Sergeant Major Tajurla, fourth host of the podcast, Monkey, Ahoy Vince. I was so ready to say the rest of it that I got tripped up. Instinct/Drag Race, Azarin, Mitch, who wants to wish the DN Army a happy holidays and remind them that Rathion isn't daddy, he's a literal child. Crucifix, Cardicay, Saracen Hawk, -1 Duck Dorno, Gershom, that 100% Christmas bitch. Hoax, asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. Vanderlyle, generational talent and the excellence of execution, Smurf the base god. Slidewhistle says,
Fuck Craig.
shout out to new patron, Digital Dave.
Digidave.
And Will, aka Tire,
William.
Trade Chat's fallen father.
With that, we're out of here. If you have any comments, questions, complaints, you want to send me some Sudafed. Wait, I shouldn't say that on the pod. Don't send me Sudafed.
Send him some lean. Send the walk to Poland real quick.
Send it to donotrelenttpod@gmail.com or email me personally at navarracoffin@gmail.com, where nobody will see our communications. What about you guys? Where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me, Alex, or Immunization on Twitter at New Era Alex. You can follow our podcast Instagram account on the gram at Do Not Relent.
Find me, Aaron the Human, at TheBigAcheesy on Twitter.com. Read the show's literary musings at DoNotRelent.LiveJournal.com. And as previously mentioned, catch my streams at twitch.tv/AaronDNR.
If you're still here, join our Discord, donotRelent.com. I own that URL.
We just upped it.
It's mine. It's ours. It's everybody's. You, the patrons, and everyone
you
pays for
heard
this.
it. Slidewhistle said it's his. That means when we have a big messy breakup, he's going to steal it from us.
They did address me, Mr. Name. I was like, oh god, that feels very formal, Google. Please calm down. Please reap your balance. Okay, fine, Daddy Google, I will. Alright, with that, we're out of here. See you guys next year. In the new year. And remember,
Another down! Do not relent!
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.